So welcome to the 3A landing. I'll read from the article in a second. But first, thank you, Raheem, for showing us how to all conduct this lab safely. As you might suspect, if you put too many of the reactant chemicals inside that syringe, you can create a pressure bomb and that plunger will just shoot right off. So hopefully that didn't happen for anyone. And the cool thing to keep in mind is whatever new gas that is, we have created a pure gas that is now isolated. And the nice thing about that is we can run tests on it to see if we can identify it and determine its properties. So now I'll go ahead and read from the article. Again, we're following the experiments and thoughts of Joseph Priestley. Remember, these are stories of what they did in the 1700s. Some of the things he does in this story, I would advise you not to try. We shouldn't taste, smell, or touch any of the chemicals that we work with or produce. So it's still 1774. He is certain he is alone. Priestley brings the vial once more to his mouth, the vial of the gas that we just produced, and he inhales this mysterious gas. Remember, you guys should not do this out there. What is this incredible feeling, he says to himself. My chest feels light as though I took in 5 breaths instead of 1. My head feels clear and my muscles feel loose. This purified gas is unlike any other. It feels as though it is air, but somehow even more air-like than air, if that makes sense. If I am the only man to have experienced this, I am certainly the luckiest among all men. Priestley suddenly imagines crowds flocking to a parlor to try this magical gas. He can see them lining up to take a whiff. Priestley's pure air parlor. Yes, that has a ring to it. He thinks back to the great success of his fizzy tonic water. Remember, in a previous video, I talked about how he had invented the process to make sparkling water. And he developed those from experiments on gas produced during fermentation. But his unwillingness then, he was unwilling then to sell his invention. He had simply given the technology to this gentleman named Johann Jacob Schweppes, and you may have heard of Schweppes ginger ale or Schweppes. I think they have like a 7-Up type of a soda. So it's still a multinational corporation. The Priestley gave the sort of the process of how to make those drinks. And look how rich this guy Schweppes had become. That could have been him. His family could be living in their own mansion rather than the side house of another family's mansion. Joseph? Mary peeks her head into the lab, seeing the strange look on her husband's face. She approaches him at the workbench and rests a hand on his shoulder. What's on your mind? He pauses, breathing heavily and looking into his hands before replying. Mary, do you ever wish I'd sold the fizzy tonic water, made a real business out of it? We could be wealthy today, wealthier than my patron who supports all of our scientific experiments and endeavors. We are wealthier than that fool, Mary scoffs. Mary, the man pays for everything we have, everything I do. We have no money on our own independently. Joseph, you generously give your work and your ideas to the world for free. Yes, but they are more valuable than anything that man keeps in his dusty mansion, and we love you for it. Why this talk of money all of a sudden? Joseph guiltily raises the vial in his hands. This gas here, it's incredible. It gives the cleanest feeling of energy to the mind and body I've ever experienced. People would spend a fortune. What is it? Will you let me try? Mary eyes the vial suspiciously. Well, I'm not quite sure yet what it is, actually. It seems safe, but I'd rather you not try it just yet. You don't know what it is? Are you a scientist or a witch doctor? Mary flares in anger. How can you dream of selling a gas you can't even name? And what idiot breathes an unknown substance? You could have died. The concern in her eyes brings Priestley back to his senses. Of course you're right. The work, my life's work, will be about truth. In money or no money, I'll stick to that. Joseph sets the vial on the bench. His experiments will reveal the secrets of this gas, whatever it really is.